What's up guys, John from heavysettactical. Today we are going to take the Becker BK16 and we are going to strip this funky abrasive coating off and we're going to acid wash it. We're going to do an acid wash today with apple cider vinegar, and then we're also going to do a do-it-yourself stone wash finish on this blade. Then I'm going to put a custom edge on it and the custom scales, and we're going to have a full package. So first, the bolts on the handle scales, first we're going to have to take those off. And I got my trusty dusty 9/64 Allen key here. So I'm going to use this Allen key, and I should have a little thing for this in my kit, you know, a nice one to get these handle scales off. That goes in the wrench in my little toolkit, but I had my Allen key sitting on my table in there. So make sure you don't lose those bolts. Oh geez, I hate these fold out systems. They're very flimsy. But sometimes it's what you got on hand. So again, make sure you don't lose those bolts. I don't believe the sets of custom sheaths, or custom handle scales come with the bolts. When I ordered the Micarta handle scales for the Becker BK7, it did not come with hardware. It was just the handle scales. So again, be careful guys, because this BK16, like I said before, the BK16 comes wicked sharp, very sharp edge on it, so just be careful. Some people, you know, leave it in the sheath while they're taking the scales off. I just wanted you to see the skeletonized handle area where this scales will cover. I should probably take my ring off, I guess. And we're gonna get started. I just wanted to show you what the knife looked like without the scales on. Now let's get it in a pan and get this paint stripper and epoxy stripper on it. What's up guys, John from heavysettactical. I got my trusty dusty assistant here. Her name is Lila, and she's my new hunting dog, my new chocolate lab, purebred chocolate lab puppy. So today I am outside on a table. I don't mind getting funky, my old picnic table. I don't like using plastic spoons to do this because they get eaten away real quick. You can use this in some epoxy and paint stripper and it won't get eaten. So you can kind of use it for both sides of the knife. And I have an old metal tray with some tin foil, a layer of tin foil on it, just to keep it from getting too funky, so I can keep reusing it. Then I do have my Becker BK16. So we are going to strip it and get this whole process started. I want to move it forward here just because the dog is close enough to the edge of the table. And I apologize if there's a little bit of street noise. I am out kind of out front here, and there is a road out front of my house. So I choose to use Jascos. Now I am a huge fan of Prepared Mind 101. I think he's a great guy. He's a great YouTube channel. I've been watching his stuff for better part of 5 or 6 years now. He uses the spray can of Jasco, but it's like $18 for the spray can, and this big jug was only about $21. So I decided to go with the jug. I was out of my normal paint stripper that I used to use, so I wanted to try this Jascos, and you know, it's a significant amount for 20 bucks. You could do several knives with it. So I'm going to bring the camera a little closer here and we're going to get started. It's kind of funny, the tin foil actually makes it look very strange trying to get it to focus. I don't know if it's the tin foil. It's kind of dark out this morning too. I am in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so it's a little cloudy and kind of gloomy right now. So I'm going to take the can. I'm essentially going to just drizzle some across this blade. Make sure you get a decent coat on there, and just use this wooden tab to just essentially like a fat wooden popsicle stick, you know, like a tongue depressor, whatever they call those. And I'm just going to spread this around. Now make sure you do get it right on the blade face and around the front areas here on the, you know, where the finger choil is, and around here, and make sure it's in these screw holes. And then I'm going to run it right along here. Make sure I keep kind of working it up against the side there, and it will pull up in here, so you can kind of make sure there's no bubbles in there, and it's kind of all around the outside. I am going to pour just a little bit more on. All right. Again, I'm going to use this tongue depressor thing to kind of move that schmutz around, you know what I mean? Run it along the back there, make sure there's plenty up on the tip. All right. I think I might have took too much off the blade there. Okay, so now we're going to let this sit for a little while. Just a little while, about maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I'll be right back so we can check the progress of how well this stuff is eating that coating off. And then go from there, and we'll flip her over. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys. Well, my paint stripper is out there doing its job. That Jascos is out there doing its job. Just as I kind of planned things, my handle scales for the BK16 and also the BK18 just showed up. I did get the natural micarta scales. I wanted to show you guys these quick because I got them at a pretty good price for about 40 bucks, and I will put a link in the description for multiple places to get them. You can also get really nice sets of handle scales for all the Becker knives on theknifeconnection.com. The Knife Connections sends them with hardware, but these didn't come with hardware. These are the scales that are actually from Blade HQ. So at the time, I ordered them from those guys because I had some points there instead of the Knife Connection. So let's go out and check on that knife, and we'll go from there, guys. What's up, guys? Finally back. It's actually been about 20-25 minutes because I had to take the dog out and get her used to going up and down the steps. So this has only been about 20 minutes with the stripper on, but this is what's different about the BK16 as opposed to the BK7 finish. The BK16 finish is no joke, guys. After 15 minutes, you'd think it'd be bubbled up. Nope. It actually appears, and when you scrape it, it hardly comes off. You have to really start scraping it. Using the can of Jasco stripper, it will not bubble up like the spray can makes it bubble up. Sorry if the camera's wiggling. Just showing you guys how it's starting to really come off there. Pretty good. Really good, actually. A lot better than I thought it was. Again, I see the camera wiggling. I apologize. Just want to show you guys kind of how it appears to start coming off. Oh man, I got the stuff all over my right hand. You got to be careful. It doesn't burn right away, but it'll start settling in a nice little chemical burn on you. And coming from a guy, who had a real bad actual chemical burn, this is nothing, but it does start to burn a little bit on your skin. And see it's eating these gloves away already. So you kind of got to work quick. If you even use gloves, you got to work quick. And maybe have something around to cut the acidity quickly too. Look at that, guys. She's almost fully stripped. And again, it takes a lot of cleanup at the end. Going around your edges, getting the inside of these two pivot holes, in the side of those handle scales, the skeletonized handle scale areas. Definitely going to take some time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. This job is definitely a marathon of a strip job. Now this side's coming up easier because this was the first side I applied it to. Coming up real well, guys. And what I love about the BK series knives is they almost make it so you can mod them. They're very mod friendly, if that makes sense, because if you can see, it still has a white label that says Becker. Oops, sorry. So you can still see the label and the BK16 very clearly, which is just way cool. Because I still like to honor the knife companies by having their labels on the knife still. That's one thing I don't like about stripping Esee, old Esees. They don't show the label really anymore. You know, and I do like, you know, I do like to be able to kind of honor them and their hard work and the maker's marks essentially, and keep those on there as best I can. That's just me. I'm goofy. Okay, so guys, we almost got this the whole way stripped, and I'm going to talk about some of the markings on the knife blade. There's these kind of lines around the whole thing from a CNC machine or a water blaster or whatever they use to cut these blanks out. I'll show you guys when it's done. Let's get her cleaned up. Okay guys, so far excellent turnout. You can see it's still got labels. There's still a couple of marks there that I have to get. A couple of patches, I mean, of it that I have to get. But essentially comes off really nicely. I just held, while I was inside, I held the scales up to it. Wait till you guys see this thing with the new scales on it. I think it looks excellent. And you can see what I was talking about, those lines. It's almost like a deep satin finish, like from like a laser machine almost, kind of. Like a laser cutter, some sort of CNC cutter. Looks great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning it up really good, and then I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to acid wash and stone wash it. I think I'm going to still do those two things before I put the scales on. Maybe I'll put the scales on first to let you see how it just looks stripped. So essentially, guys, what I did was I had some spots, and I didn't want to scratch the coating up too much on the blade. I had those spots, so I ran a little fresh paint thinner over them, paint stripper over them, and the jimping there. Essentially, everything else came off fine. I'm really excited to show you guys how this is going to end up looking really great. Today, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like with the scales, just this natural patina on it. I'm probably gonna dip it in. I'm gonna do about a 30-minute drop in some apple cider vinegar first. So that's gonna be the acid wash, you know, patina, and yeah. Then we'll see how it looks with the scales on it, and I'll decide if I want to do the stone wash. Wow, guys, I am so impressed at how that turned out. Now I noticed I still have a little spot right there I have to take care of, right there. But as a whole, whoa, sorry, I was out of focus. As a whole, look at how great that looks. Okay, that is how it's gonna look in general. Just after you do a simple stripping of the coating. So I think it looks great. I'm gonna put the handle scales on, kind of hold them on just so you can see a 3D. Okay, man, doesn't that look good, guys? Sorry for the crude camera work. I just want to do an acid wash there before I, man, what a good looking, it almost looks weathered already and rustic. I love it. So now let's give it an acid wash to help, which does help a significant amount. You know, not a significant amount, but it helps enough with the corrosion resistance, because 1095 does rust pretty easy. That's why most 1095 blades, you know, Becker's, Esees, they all come with a heavy coat because of the fact that they do rust pretty good. But I'm in central PA. It's pretty dry here. Not a lot of humidity except for certain parts of the summer. You know, this is a really great cold weather steel, especially, you know, like up north, as opposed to if I lived in Florida, I probably wouldn't have 1095. So we're going to do an acid bath for about 20 to 30 minutes with some apple cider vinegar, and that's going to give it a slight acid wash kind of coating to help with the wear resistor, the you know, weather resistance a little bit, kind of rust resistance a little bit of the blade. And then I'm going to decide based on when you use apple cider vinegar, the longer you leave it in the bath, the more dark the blade finish kind of gets. You don't want to do too long because you don't want it to penetrate that metal very much. So 20-30 minutes should be good. I want it to get a little darker, more like the under the handle scales here is a little darker than the blade. And then we're going to decide whether or not I want to do a do-it-yourself stonewash at home before I put the scales on and reprofile this blade here. So stick with me, guys. Okay, guys, I got some regular apple cider vinegar here, organic, Simply Nature apple cider vinegar. And funny enough, I couldn't find anything but some 8x8 cake pans that I use to make baked oatmeal in. That this will sit nice and flat in there, and I can give it a bath of the apple cider vinegar. So we are going to pour in just enough to coat the blade. Now, what I do want to warn you about, and what everybody warned me about, is that you are going to want to get a nice bath worth in there. I should have took that spill tip off. So you want to get enough to submerge the knife just over the top of it. Then you want to, and there are nasty pieces in this because this is an old bottle and it actually kind of clumps up a little bit on the inside. So as I leave this sit in the bath, and it's hard to tell, but everything is submerged. It looks like the end is not, but it actually is. So you want to leave it sit in there. And as it starts to, as the acid starts to have a reaction against the surface of this 1095 high carbon steel, I think the acidity of it starts to react with the carbon content in that steel. It's going to start producing a little bit of bubbles around the knife. So what you want to do is get a soft bristle brush or your finger and run your finger over it and just take those bubbles off, because it will affect the end result. It'll be a little less fluid. There could be some, slight kind of like dotting of the, your end result. So we're going to check back. Again, I'm going to leave it in for about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes at the most. And I'm going to keep brushing it with a soft bristle brush to get all of those bubbles off. I'm probably going to do 15 minutes, then flip it and do 15 minutes, even though the whole knife is submerged, just for the sake of being thorough. And yeah, we're going to see what she looks like in about 30 minutes. What's up, guys? John with Heavysettactical. We're back. You can see the bubbles I was talking about, like displacing kind of on top of the metal there. So you can take your finger or a brush to make sure you get all of them and kind of go like that and wipe them away. It's a very simple process. It's going to just keep that acidic chemical change on the outside of the metal. Alright, so real quick, I just wanted to show you I got a brush. It's a lot easier to do it with a brush. Make sure it makes sure that you get all inside the little areas, especially in the jimping back there. Make sure you get all around the blade and just get all those bubbles off. So now I'm going to give it a flip. And again, there's a really funny mark right there, which is okay. It's going to wipe off. Yeah, okay, good. It's going to wipe off. Plus, I'm going to buff this knife real good. That honestly could be a blemish in the metal. When they obviously had this mix of 1095 steel and made the knife, that could be a foul in the blade or a strange pocket of, metal in there, or that could have been from me potentially leaving a dot of soap on there when I washed it after the stripping of it. So we'll find out in a little bit, see how it looks. All right, guys, we are back with the finished product. Now, this is not, I did not do the stone wash on the blade. I like imperfections, and there's this weird, some of these funny imperfections. I tried a couple rounds of, let me turn my flash off. A couple rounds of paint stripper on. That's an imperfection in the blade, and some of that coating is just really lodged in it. So it's kind of just a a small blemish. That's okay. And then another one's very similar point is right here. There's a little, it looks like there's a little bit of cavity in the knife, and so it just kept a really dark color. Then when I was doing in the acid wash, this circular part, the circular, mark just kind of showed up out of nowhere pretty quickly into the acid wash. So to be honest with you, I have not, I'm pretty amazed here, guys, because I have not polished this knife in any way, shape, or form. And it's really, if you guys could see it a little better in person, it's really glossy, and really shiny. It's not very scratched up or anything. And I did take a wire brush to the blade pretty good to get all the stuff out of the jimping and all the coating out of the jimping in that area there. Now again, if I need to take this to my buffing wheel and stuff, and I'm gonna give you guys like a stone washed, perfect finished product after I put a nice 18-degree edge on it on my TS Prof sharpening system. But for the sake of this video and this process, you guys saw me take this kind of funky basic run-of-the-mill BK16 and make it really, really cool. So guys, I wanted to put the process of this transformation in video for you guys. I'm gonna go out and buff this, probably do an at-home stone wash with some stone medium in this really cool cylinder of PVC that I made with a little belt drive on it, electric motor on it. But yeah, I wanted to show you at home how you can take that regular BK16 that looks very much like this BK19 with the plastic scales and the sheath that's not anything very special, and make it really, really unique and very much more functional. So again, I wanted to do a stripping and part 1 transformation video. Now I still have the custom Kydex on the way. I am going to stone wash it, and I am going to put a really nice 18-degree edge on there and maybe kind of walk back that maybe walk back that nice flat section of that blade. But you want to talk about like king of the ergonomics. This is just such a comfortable knife. And this kind of at-home process that I showed you guys, only took me an hour and a half or so. And I had to run out and do some things during it. So it wasn't very hard. And there's a lot of black left in those. These are called machining marks, from the blanks. And they know they're getting coated, so they kind of leave these machining marks on there, and you can see those lines. That's not actually a satin finish. That's like machining marks from the blanks. So it's a very cool knife now, and it's very, very, very good looking knife. Looks like it has some age to it. It's really cool. Just a really cool process. You can do it at home with very little money. I'm going to leave descriptions and the links in the description to all the things that I had to get to make this happen. The paint thinner, paint stripper, and epoxy remover from Jascos. Jascos is the company. And then also the BK16 scales that I got from Blade HQ. But yeah, overall, just a big win.